Strange discourse this I'd give you. You remember the women of Greenham Common? They were protesting against, with the CND and youth from the 60s, now the 80s, nuclear proliferation. The world was coming to an end fast. Whether it was, the Cuba crisis and so on, or whether it was testing bigger and bigger atomic bombs in the Pacific and one in the upper atmosphere to wreck the Van Allen belts and goodness knows what else. And women. I think I'm thinking of Sadhguru here. Women had this thing, I think, and they influenced their children. And their children grew up to be a generation with them. Flower power, Jesus movement. It was into psychedelic drugs and all the rest of it. I mean, it was as haywire as youth could be. But they won. There had to be some pretense of armament agreement between East and West to limit the amount of, at least apparently, nuclear weapons and so on. And somehow we got over that crisis of the end of the world being imminent. And I might point out the radioactivity on the planet rising. It's an astonishing achievement. And you might think, well, it wasn't their achievement, it was someone else's thing. But the goal was achieved. And there was a whole generation behind it. And they were as despised as religious people might be. For seeking an answer to the world's problems. Okay, it wasn't in the psychedelic drugs, not really. That was an escapism, I guess, as indeed religion is seen as an escapism. It's there because people want to escape and need to. And by the grace of God, we do. Interestingly, I'll say in passing, they used modern warfare against the women of Greenham Common who were camped there outside of some nuclear-type facility. And they used sound weapons, so to speak, day and night, to affect the squatters psychologically. We wrestle against principalities and powers. Yes. You could say we don't need to if we wrestle in the right way, which is to trust in our Heavenly Father, that He loves all and that He's all-powerful. And were it the case that this was not true, that this was not the reality, then I can tell you reality would be so appalling that you'd still be better escaping into fantasy and drugs, alcohol and so on and so forth, or just endlessly surfing the net, which may amount to the same thing. But taste and see. If you take to heart, choose, to take to heart, of your own free will, that God is all-powerful and loves you, and loves all, See what you think then. Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, you could do well to look up the Women of Greenham Common on Google. Gives you a very good account of rather outstanding event in the 80s. And very instructive too. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.